Hi, this is Namita Jaspal, and this is my second video message in the series that we planned. And this again is about consolidation during the conservation treatment. I would like to keep this message a little short so that the interest is maintained, and it would be more of providing a food for thought for conservators and anybody who's interested in treatment of heritage objects or cultural objects. The first thing that I want to discuss is about the movement of the consolidating solution to the point where it is required in the anatomy of the painting or the structure. Now, this movement depends on many factors, and we tend to forget that these factors, they change in the course of the movement. For example, something interesting, like if you are spraying a consolidating solution or you are applying it with a brush, you take a particular concentration that you know would do the job of adhesion between the two layers. But most of the conservators tend to forget and miss that the droplet of the consolidating solution from the sprayer till the time it reaches the surface where it is applied, its concentration, the concentration of the consolidant in the droplet, it changes, it increases. And so would its movement or the speed with which it penetrates the structure would vary. And at times maybe we are expecting something to move, say 1 or 2 millimeter, or maybe in micrometers we are doing the calculations and all, but actual movement is not that much, because the concentration and viscosity, concentration is changing because of the evaporation on the path in the way, and hence the viscosity is also changing, and hence the speed of movement. So at times the consolidating solution is not even able to reach the point where it is required. So we need to do more accurate, or nearly, we can't be 100%, but our calculations should consider all these points, because it is not just from the time that the droplet or the solution from the tip of the brush moves from the bottle or the sprayer to the surface. It is not just this time when the concentration is changing. Even after that, even once the capillary action has started in the cracks or the pores, even during that movement, there is change in viscosity and concentration. So we have to keep all these points in mind before we take any decision on the preparation of the consolidating solution, and we need to do a little experimentation or test batches and all. And the second point that I want to make is, at times I have found that I saw in many of my projects, like there was swelling or blistering of the paint layer. And most of the time, either it was the medium of the paint which was by which the painting was executed. It was either mainly it was oil based, and there were blisters I've seen, and the swelling of the paint layer. Even in the paintings which were supposed to be tempera or fresco with earth pigments, which should not ideally swell. So where we later found that, of course, there was some retouching done or earlier. And so the second point that I want to make is, while consolidation, some of the solvent is wasted in evaporation till the time the consolidating solution reaches the point where it is required for addition. And some of the solvent is also lost in the solid paint layer. The solid paint layer tends to absorb it and hence get swelled or form a blister sort of thing. Now, and this solvent is required mainly for the movement. So it is not just that evaporation which is taking up some of the solvent and hence hindering the movement. It is the solid paint layer also, and in the process it might get damaged itself. And the very purpose of our doing the conservation treatment is to save the paint layer. So of course that then our the whole idea of doing conservation would be futile if we miss this point. And so I think these are two important points, and I think good food for thought for conservators and anybody interested in conservation to consider the changes happening in the amount of solvent. And we can avoid it. We can take certain measures by which this loss is compensated or it slows down. So there are certain things, and it would be nice to hear from you that what you do, what other conservators, other fellow conservator friends do to avoid this kind of loss during consolidation. And it is not, the second point is not just during consolidation, it is also during cleaning process, because most of the time we clean with solvents, and if a particular solvent stays on a paint layer for a particular period of time, it tends to swell the paint layer. The paint layer tends to absorb it and cause a blister formation or something like that. So that's it. Thank you.